Performance Podcast.
Episode 173, Approach, Result, Response. Part 11, Book Breakdown, Chapter 11. What can and cannot be controlled. From the book, The Mental Keys to Hitting by, yes, Harvey Dorfman. We're almost there. We've got 2 sections left in the book, The Mental Keys to Hitting. Here it is. If you've got the video version, you know I'm holding the book here in my hand. Yes, the tactile version, pages and all. The quote at the beginning of the book goes like this, quote, "Know what you're doing and you'll be a confident boy. Know how to deal with what happens to you and you'll be a confident man," period, end quote. And that's by Mac Dorfman. And that was Harvey Dorfman's pops. Yes, the legacy of lads and dads lives on. He even put his dad in the book. What a great lad. Episode 173, we are back on the pod. Enrique Byronese, not with us today, but he'd tell any T.O. Charlie listening, my boy Kowalski, man, he makes players fuerte on la cabeza, man. El lugar es aquí, el momento es ahora, wherever you are, the place is here. And the time is now. We're taking it from the clouds to the dirt, one epi at a time, knocking down mental and emotional barriers so you can perform with confidence and consistency. Why mentally tough players understand the difference between approach, result, response. Your approach and your response are your business. The result is not. Who's in control of the result and the outcomes? That's God's. Who's in control of the preparation? The approach, the process, the response, that's you. Stop negotiating with reality and start owning your preparation, because the separation is in the preparation. So own your preparation and how you respond to the uncontrollables. Look at the segment 1 here of the approach, the decision before the swing. Know what you're doing and you'll be a confident boy. Know how to deal with what happens to you, and you'll be a confident man. We've got hitters chasing hits the way fools, chase down wins at the casino. We're in Arizona. We've got a lot of gaming here on certain outer parts of the city. But the mature ones, they anchor in their approach. Right? Your approach is your process. It's how you show up before the pitch, before the game, before the moment. It's not just physical, it's philosophical, it's emotional, and it's also spiritual. Don't take your personality from the game. Bring your personality to the game. Bring your heart, your soul, your spirit to the game. Elite level approach looks like a big deep breath before stepping into the box. How many parts of the breath are there? There's 4 parts. Inhale, a little bit of a hold, exhale, little bit of a hold. That's 4. Finish the breath. Get a big breath on the sweet spot of the barrel. Get in the box. Have very crystalline, clear situational awareness. Be aggressive, under control, not emotional, and then have those mental, verbal triggers locked in. See the ball. Be easy. Track it and whack it. Put the fat part of the bat on the ball. Hit it where it's pitched. Right? See it and hit it. So what's your hitting routine? Your pre-pitch routine between pitches? What's your release routine if you get yourself into yellow or red lights where you're losing or lost control? Can you repeat it when you're 0 for your last 7, 0 for your last 10? If you can't repeat it under pressure and you don't see pressure as a privilege, it's not a routine. It's a ritual of panic. And what if? And those player identity mistakes of prayer, primal, and perfect players. Let's clean that up. Anchor down with your breath. Lock in your keys to keep things simple and take back the box because it's your box. Let's anchor down with one of the greatest coaching manual of all time, the Bible in Hebrews 12, 1 through 2. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on the great Jesus Cristo, the great grand designer, the great carpenter in the sky. What is it? The translation is fix your eyes on what matters. If you want to win, what's important now? That pitch, that moment, not battling average or your ego, right? That's out of your control. Batting average, out of our control. We've already established that. And then he talks about results, the illusion of control. The cold, hard truth is your batting average is not your business, out of your control. The wind, the umpire, the turf bounce, the duck fart, snot shot, bloop single, the umpire's call, not your business, out of your control. You could go 0 for 4 with 4 lasers and still have won the day. We've got to be playing for something bigger than a batting average outside of your control. You don't want to be riding the roller coaster. You want to go to the ballpark, not the amusement park. Stats are outcomes. You can influence them, but you can't control them. Mature hitters, mature players, they're always going to separate effort from the outcome. The great Kevin Millar in the book, there's an example about Millar when he used to play for the Florida Marlins. The old Florida Marlins lid is still one of the sickest ones, for sure. Millar, he wasn't getting the playing time out of his control. He knew the lineup out of his control. He said, quote, "Be ready while you wait," period, quote. There's an example of Derek Jeter in there. He knew the danger of letting results screw with his approach. And then the great Javi Lopez, he was getting numbers obsessed, and so his swing discipline vanished. Are you more committed to your outcome or your approach? And what is your approach? Right? When does your at-bat start? What is your pre-pitch routine? What is your release routine? What's your verbal trigger? We've all seen dudes hit 380 who are mentally weak, and we've seen dudes hit 230, tough as nails, inconsistent in their process. Who do you think scouts trust when things get tough? Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Control leads to confidence. When you give power to the outcome, you give away your peace. Your performance suffers, your presence vanishes, and your poise, poof, gone. We all take L's, losses, learning opportunities, stay strong. But we're only losing if we're not learning. We've all heard that. There's no winning and losing. There's only winning and learning, right? Man, if you ain't first, you're last. No, man, you could be second, third, fourth, fifth, and then evaluate, prepare, perform, reflect, evaluate on what you did well, what you could do better, and how you're going to do it next time to improve, right? Let's get real. The part ain't negotiable taking the L, but what happens next? That's where the young go-hards are made. That's where the elite separate from the average. Approach, result, response. Get 2 out of 3 right, and you're in business, right? What was I trying to do? What went wrong? How did I not execute there? What do I want to do next time? This is just saying baseball, this is life. You snap, you throw your helmet, you bark at the umpire, you skip high-fiving your teammate in the high-five zone. That's a child responding to adversity. You're not making adversity your advantage. You're living in that abyss of adversity. You want to act like a pro? You want to play in the big Grande Ligas? Right? You want to play D1? Ask better questions and demand better responses from yourself. What's your first move after a strikeout, after a booted ball? This is not thinking negatively. This is thinking ahead. These things happen. Are you reacting or are you responding? You get to choose. Scream in the tunnel, pray in the dugout, breathe it out in left field, then respond, get back to work, always back to work, always back to winning. But we don't control winning, but we do control the win. WIN, what's important now? Anchor down in James 1:19. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. I know I'm always working on that one, right? I'm working on all of it. Why? Because anger clouds awareness, and awareness wins in the box. You don't need perfect results. You need a consistent approach and a controlled response. Green lights. If you take care of those two, over time, results will take care of themselves. If you don't own your approach and your response, the game will own you. Everybody listening, anchor down with the breath and their approach at the plate. Refine that with a real routine, one that builds presence, one that builds positivity, one that builds clarity, one that has you in process of executing one pitch at a time and enjoying the ride with confidence, trust, and commitment. Start your at-bat routine 4 hitters away. That's when the at-bat begins with your mental ABs, right? You got your rocket launcher. You got your all-white Bruce Bolts or you old school guys wearing the Franklins. Don't wait until the walk-up song or if I'm in the dugout playing the didgeridoo as you walk out on deck. Don't wait for that. The at-bat starts 4 hitters away with the mental ABs. You're watching the pitcher execute the pitch. The catcher receives it. You're shutting your eyes and seeing in the movie theater of your mind you executing that pitch as clearly and vividly, as richly as you can, whether it's a common pure take where the hips go and the hands stay still, or it's a pitch you would have hammered. Right? Now we're going into the 3-hole. Once you get into the 3-hole, now you put your lid on, right? My lid on, the ultimate hitter's head is now on. Right? You're getting your timing. You're getting ready. Baba Mangianis, the great Atlanta Braves hitting coach, taught me snaps. Hitting's a rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you want to snap. Snap when the pitcher releases it. Snap when the catcher catches it. Snap, snap. Snap, snap. Now we're getting a rhythm, right? So in the 3-hole, the hitter's head comes on when you put your helmet on. The lid goes on, my hitter's head is on. Boom. Anything outside of your control, leave it in the dugout. See ya. Well, in fact, leave it in the parking lot when you get off the bus or out of the car, right? Anything that's not Clark Kent becoming Superman, your alter ego is now on. The uni is going to bring the best out of us, and feel ain't real anymore, right? You act differently than you feel. You choose act and do confidence by getting big. So right here, now we're in the 3-hole. Now we're getting big. On deck, we're stepping out. Just think, get big when you're on deck. And move yourself as far down the line as you can to simulate where you're going to be in the box. How far can I go? The rule book says as far down as the foul line extended goes. But probably the umpire is going to tell you to move, right? If anything, it's going to get in the pitcher's head. He's going to be like, man, he's stealing and simulating what it's going to look like 5 feet from the batter's box instead of 40 feet away off in an imaginary on-deck circle. You want to be more consistent and confident when you get in the box. Be more consistent about your at-bat routine. Finish your breath on the barrel. We talked about finishing all 4 parts of the breath. Finish all 4 parts on the breath of the barrel where focus goes, energy flows. So you get that big breath on the sweet spot of the barrel. Then you get into your box and hunt and attack pitches in the zone from there and give yourself that verbal trigger finally. See the ball, be easy, hammer it. Then win the pitch. Afterward, reflect. What did I do well? What can I do better? How am I going to improve next time? Simple. That's mental game. That's baseball maturity. That's the process over the panic. That's chaos. That's order in the chaos. Para mis jugadoras latinas, más línea, más vida. Hasta la próxima, recuerda, si quieres ser un jugador disciplinado, comprometido y preparado en el futuro, empiezas esa mierda hoy. Se necesita lo que se necesita y lo mejor está por venir. Until next time, remember, if you want to be a disciplined, committed, and prepared ball player in the future, you start being that dude today. It takes what it takes. And if you choose, the best is yet to come. Be good to yourselves out there.